Hi YouTube, I'm Vic and this is my 1964 Jaguar Mk2 and today we're going to look at doing the front suspension. So with the front suspension there's a bit of a story so far. So off camera I've already stripped the components off the car, cleaned them up, painted the small bits and had the main bits sent off for powder coating. Now the shiny bits are back, it's time to get them ready for refitting. So a few days ago the powder coating came back. It is like Christmas. It also like -3 degrees out here. It is freezing in my tin shed. So let's see how the powder coatings come out. Great. Looks cool. So we got some little bits that we got to clean up here, and it looks like on this bearing surface, not bearing surface, the bush surface in here, we've got some tape. So we'll need to pull that off as well. So of course, when the stuff comes back from the powder coating, all the edges which are masked off get a little bit of a paint edge on them. So we've just cleaned those off with the Stanley knife. Now, time to fit the bushes back into the suspension arm. So I'm hoping this guy is actually just going to slip in there quite nicely and I won't have to use one of these. So to start, just going to put a little bit of white grease on there, just to help him sit in there nicely. And also that surface in there is not protected, it's just bare metal, so a little bit of grease just helps give it a bit of protection. Old socks are great old rags. So just get that grease everywhere in there. There we go. That'll do. And hopefully this guy will just slide in. Yep, there he goes. Oh, not quite. I reckon just a little tap should do him. Nearly there. There we go. That looks about right. Perfect. Now, with the bigger wishbones, I'm not sure I'm going to get away with that. So now that he's all cleaned up, you can see the size difference of those two bushes. So I'm going to get this one started just in the vise, pop them in there, and then we'll finish them off with this fella. Just as before, bit of silicone grease in there, just to help it, help it ease in, and also to protect the bare metal that doesn't get covered in the powder coating. There we go, that's pretty much got him in there. Great, our two bushes are in. Now the hard part. So before we get too carried away putting these bushes in, there's a couple of things we've got to sort out. So the end of this guy goes straight through him. So to sort that out, we've got a couple of washers just to put on the end. So there's a metal insert. Looks a bit like something like that, but a little bit bigger, that runs through the centre of that bush. So those washers will sit straight on him, and then that guy will sit on those washers and put pressure on the metal insert rather than the rubber on the outside. The other problem is I'll do it on the bottom one. You might not be able to see that. Let's tilt the camera down a bit. So on this bottom fella, you'll be able to see it better. So these alarms hook on there like that, and then you wind him up, and he just pushes the bush through. The problem is those metal. You get the metal on the new powder coating, which is clearly going to damage it with the amount of force that's going to be required to push these bushes in. So, a little top tip: we're just going to cover those edges down here with a bit of tape. So I didn't bother showing you me faffing about trying to get this on. He's a bit fiddly. So now he's on, we can just start cranking them up. So a good thing about pushing the bushes in the vise before we started was that they've now been pushed in nice and central. Sometimes when you push them in, they can go in a bit of an angle, but with the vise it just helps keep it all together and true. So that should help pushing this guy in from here. And now it's just manning it up. Hopefully that's it. Get this fella off. That washer's stuck in there. Come on, little fella. There we go. It's alright. Oh, and that washer's stuck on the end. Oh. So, one bush, looks fairly central. Hopefully that when we put it on the car, shouldn't need too much hammering and jiggery pokery and so, as you saw, the other one didn't go quite as smoothly as the first one. But never mind, he's on now. The real pain though is I've just checked this up against the subframe, which these guys mount to, and this gap is too small. So I've got to push these bushes just a fraction out so that when it goes on and clamps down, these will obviously move back in and actually reset. But at the minute, this is too narrow to actually get onto the subframe. Bugger. So, I've had a long hard think about this, and as tempting as this option was to get these bushes back, I'm going to do it properly. But this time, I've put the tape on this guy, and hopefully that'll work a little bit better than last time. But what a bugger. Well, that worked a lot better. So we learned something today. One, don't make that too narrow, and two, put a little bit of tape on the end there rather than on the piece you're working on. Now let's go check, see that they fit. So for those who thought I'd only done one side, I've been doing both at the same time. So all the bush bearings are in and ready to go, and now the fun bit starts because we get to put this back on the car.